everyone. And today we are going to be finally, because I was supposed to do this last month, but I'm doing it this month, going to be doing a discussion on 50 Shades of Grey, y'all. So for the next 3 months, we're going to be living in a world of 50 Shades, obviously going in order. So this month, like I mentioned, we're doing 50 Shades of Grey. Next month, we'll do 50 Shades of Darker. We'll get to that then. So let's just jump into it. So before we jump into it, I just want to mention the main feed is getting a sneak peek of this episode, but you'll be only getting exactly that, a sneak peek. I haven't decided exactly how much because it depends on how long this episode is. But if you want the full length, you will have to head on over to patreon.com/realityt times 2. And you can go to any tier of your choice, the $3, $5, or $7 tier to get access to this episode. The link will be in the show notes. All right, y'all, let's get into it. So if you want to watch this before coming and listening to me, if you haven't watched the movie or it's been a while since you have, you can watch it. I watched this particular one on Prime. No, Once Upon a Time it used to be on Netflix, but I don't think it is anymore. So yeah, I watched this on Prime. I think it's Crave in Canada, HBO, in America. But yeah. That's where you can get it. Of course, you can Google and find out where you can get it, or you can watch it if you have it already on it. You do that too. You can watch it on YouTube, that kind of thing, like whatever. But anyways, let's get into it, y'all. Let's finally do this. So the opening title, we'll start with the opening with the I put a spell on you because you're mine. I quite like this version. You better stop the things you do. Okay. It's really great. Anyways, of course, it's gray. Anyways, let's kind of go into my thoughts on the main characters here. I guess mainly as we kind of go along, if I mention them, I'll do that too. But we'll just kind of mention our two main characters here, which is obviously Anastasia Steele and Christian Grey. Anastasia Steele. Okay. So I find the movie Anna versus the book Anna is two different Annas. Now, if you read the book Anna, do y'all remember book Anna? Okay. Book Anna, remember she had like her secret goddess or whatever the fuck she called herself? It was so stupid. I found book Anna to be highly, highly annoying. I don't mind movie to movie Anna. I like Dakota Johnson. No issues there. So I find her to be a little more feisty, a little more like no fuck you type thing, which I need and I love and I adore of this particular character. Christian Grey. Christian. Okay. Um, Either way you put it, I think they're fairly similar. Book Christian, movie Christian. I think that is a nod to Jamie Dornan, but I okay. Can I say I feel like there is a difference between the Christian Greys in these movies. And I think really truly it's just the evolution of him. We'll kind of get to it. But first movie Christian Grey, hate him. Hate him. I I can't stand him now. Jamie Dornan is a fucking hot man, so I can stare at him and be very happy. But Christian Grey, not fuck him. Like we'll get to it. But I found him again. I always thought like there was something like off about this particular movie versus the other two, but it's not even that. I realized as time went on with this, and I'm like, oh no, it's not that the movie is off. It's the fact that Christian Grey in the first movie, the first book, he is this stiff, robotic person and very monotone in how he speaks sometimes. And I'm like, no, it's just him because he has a literal stick up his ass, you know? So I think like that was probably it. And he progresses as time goes on. So for me in the first movie, I'm like, fuck him. Like, forget him. But, anyways, those are my thoughts on the characters. As we go along, I will do more discussion. So we so what we get to, because, okay, to preface, if you've never seen this movie and you're just listening to me, she Anna is going to Gray, what's it called? Gray House, Gray something, Gray Goose, who knows? She's going to his place of employment, his company, to interview him for a newspaper. Which, can I ask a question? Why are we doing this so close to graduation? Let's move on. But she's going to go and do this on behalf of her roommate, Kate. Now, Kate, love her. Love her. She's all in this shit. She's protective of her friend. She's great. Mm, Just, she's great. But she's sick. So this is why Anna is going in her place. This is not what she does. She's an English lit student. So this is, I don't exactly know what Kate was doing, but it wasn't that. So, anyways, she's doing this as a favor to her best friend, her roommate. This is what she's doing. So when she gets to Gray House, Gray Goose, Gray, when she gets there, the staff is all blonde haired. Some of them, there are some brunettes, more on that later. And because I never caught that, I always had the belief that his staff, the women especially, were just people he would not be attracted to, which we'll kind of get more deeper into that as time goes on, mainly in the second movie. Um, he has a type, and his type is not blonde haired or like he is looking more for a mousy type girl. So the women that he has in this his company who work for him do not look like this. But here's another thing that I also noticed while watching this movie that I never noticed before. Everyone's wearing gray. Everyone's wearing different shades of gray. Was that on purpose? Was that like, that's the dress code, y'all gotta wear gray? Or was this like a movie choice? The fuck? It was the weirdest thing. They're all literally wearing like different shades of gray. Because let's face it, there are 50 shades of gray apparently, but who knows? Anyways, so when, okay, can someone explain to me what the fuck happened here? Because when she goes into his office, no, y'all. She didn't walk into his office. No, no. She literally nosedived into his office. She literally went head first into his office. She literally went, like, she flew to her face onto the ground into his office. It was, how? What did she trip over? What the hell happened? Meanwhile, he goes over to help her. The woman who brought her there, just what? Just what? Doesn't make sure she's okay. Just goes and closes the door and says he's got it. What the fuck is, literally, I'm like, what about her? She just literally went brunk onto his floor, and my girl is just there like, oh, let me go to the store. Like, what is happening? Me? No. Me? No. You don't even know. I am cursed. I have a family curse. I would have pissed myself laughing with this girl who is dressed like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse nosediving into my boss's office. I would have died. Oh, I would have died. No. Anyways, that's what happened there. Okay. Um, and here's the thing. The whole thing of her this nose diving into his office situation never comes back really because if anyone knows anything, we're doing this transition here because we did Twilight before, and now we're doing 50 Shades. E.L. James, who is the author of 50 Shades, of Grey or Fifty Shades Dark, you know, you get it. Um, she was inspired to write this book from Twilight. So there's these parallels. Obviously, it's kind of like if Edward was a human rich man who likes to dominate women, and this is like the difference here. What would it be? Here it is. It's called 50 Shades of Grey. His name is Christian Grey. Um, so I feel like you were trying to create a situation where Anna is a klutz like Bella, and it's like, okay, but then again, the Bella klutziness of it all, that was something that went through the entirety of the books, and even if, like, we didn't see her be a klutz much throughout the movies, it was always referenced. I feel like here they are just creating this thing like, "Oh, wait, Bella's a klutz. We need to make Anna a klutz," and it never comes back again. It never comes back again. It's so weird, but anyways. So then the questions start. And she's like, "What do you owe to your success?" Which he's being, snarky about. And he's like, "I just know people." And then she's like, "Well, maybe you're just controlling." And what does he respond with, y'all? Listen, if my man said this to me, I would be a heap of water at his feet because I'm who I am. He literally says, "Oh, I exercise control in all things, Miss Steele." And I'm like, "Yes, you do. Yes, you do." Um, so she starts asking him again about like his charity efforts and stuff like that. And he says, he feeds the poor. And he kind of she kind of mentions the fact that he was adopted. It's like that's a matter of public record. Like he doesn't even want to talk about it. Um, So you're thinking like he feeds the poor. This guy was adopted. He's great, right? Well, no. Okay. Because then she asks him this question. Now remember, all these questions are Kate's questions, so we blame her. But she says, "Are you gay?" She's like, "I'm so sorry." And he's like, "No, Anna, I'm not gay. Trust me, I'm not." Anyways, but you can tell he's so intrigued by her. He's interested in her. He wants to know her. Not only just that, he doesn't just want to know her, he wants her, y'all. He wants that ass. So much so that he wants to actually give her like an intern program there at Grey Goose. So, but she's like, I wouldn't fit in here because again, she's thinking, I am who I am. I'm dressed how I'm dressed. This is me. But you have models out there all in different shades of gray. So, anyways, um, and she's just like, look at me. And he's like, I am. And I thought that was sweet. I have to say, that was sweet. That was sweet. But as she leaves, he grabs the questions because he truly did not answer the questions. And then you get that elevator scene where she's like, um, where he's like Anastasia and she's like Christian, and she goes outside, she's like breathing the air because she's like, that was stifling. Let's move on. But when she gets home, she tells Kate about him because she's like, he's, intense and he's professional and he's clean. Clean? Listen. Kate is like, clean? Listen, girl, I get it because men are gross. Okay. Men are nasty. So if you find a man who's clean, yeah, you marry him. What's the problem? I'm just saying. Anyways, um, but she's like, he is incredibly hot, Kate says. And what does she respond with? She responds with like, well, if you like that kind of human, what, the hot kind of human? Yeah, Yeah, I think most people like that kind of human. But anyways, this is the next scene where we meet her mother, who definitely gives us the air of Renee in Twilight. And a little similar because Renee didn't go to her daughter's graduation either, because she's not going to her Anna's graduation because Bob, her fourth husband, broke his foot while playing golf. How? How? How does one, you know what? Never mind. So yeah, she's not going to be going. Um, and then she got off the phone. She's about to go do something and isn't freaking Christian Grey just in her store. Here's my thing. Me, I'd be like, listen, sir, I have been working here for X amount of years. Never once have I seen your fine rich ass in here. So what are you doing here? I would have had so many fucking questions. More on that later. So, the next episode. So the man's fucking stalking her at this point. No one seems to have a problem. No, because he's rich and hot. So we're going to give it a pass, even though he's stalking her. So he's like, I just need a few things because, again, he does his own shopping. Who knew? No, he doesn't. So he's like, I need cable ties. Okay, great. So let's give you cable ties. He needs some masking tape. Cool. Let's give him the masking tape and maybe some rope. Yeah, great. You know what she says because she's one of us? She literally says, you have the complete serial killer kit. The fuck he does. So what are we going to do? We're going to flirt some more? No. I'm calling the cops. I'm calling the cops. I'm literally going to be like, hi, 911. This man just bought cable ties, masking tape, and rope. I think he's a serial killer. I think he might be the next Green River killer. I don't fucking know. No way. 911, who's there? No. Pfft. So, anyways, he says, is there anything else that she can give him? And she's like, well, you could get coveralls, to protect your clothes. And this man, who doesn't know her very well, literally says, or I could just take them all off. Sure, dude. You don't know her. She don't know you. And we're going to talk about taking our clothes off? The fuck? No. Anyways, so she then kind of mentions to him, thank you for answering the questions, blah, blah, blah. And Kate's mentioned about having an original photo because she mentioned it would be nice to have an original photo of him. And he offers to do that for her. And he says, just give me a call. I'm staying at the Heathrow or whatever the hotel was called. So he'll be there, call me by this time, whatever. So that's what he's going to do since he's in town, like the stalker that he is. So he'll do that for her. So after he's done that for Kate, he actually asks her to go out for coffee. Um, and he asks her about her family. She talks about her dad, her bio dad had died when she was young, and she was raised by her stepdad, Ray, who we'll meet later and who we'll never see again. And her mom, who is, again, as we have mentioned, is on husband number 4, who broke his foot playing golf. And she says, she's an incurable romantic. And he asks, well, are you? And she's like, well, I'm an English lit. I kind of have to be. And he ends up just cutting it off there. And he says, this isn't going to work for me. The fuck? You can't even be like, let's just go through this date and get over with it. No. You literally have to be like, no, this isn't working for me anymore. I think we got to go. Like, what the? He says to her that he doesn't do the romance thing. And he's not the man for her. And he has to let her go. And she's like, goodbye, Mr. Grey. And she walks off like, like it's just, he did you a service. But guess what, y'all? Once, narcissist, always a narcissist, are we right? He's going to want what he's going to want. So let's continue. Kate and Anna and Jose, who we'll talk about very soon, they, are all going to be going out to celebrate. finishing exams, graduating. It's a big deal. That's what they're going to be doing. Before that, though, she gets a package from Christian. If I am to think the timeline is correct, he literally bought the gift and gave it to her the next damn day. Now, I know it wasn't that. It's like a week or something like that, a week or two between the two. And yeah, so you literally told this woman, I'm not the man's for you. I can't do this. And then you're going to gift her a first edition book. Are we okay? Are we okay? You know what happens when white people have too much money? This is what they do. We're not okay. Anyways, so I wrote, so he's love bombing her. Okay, cool. But now it's party time, y'all. It's shot o'clock and Anna is drunk, y'all. She goes to go pee and she calls Christian. She drunk dials Christian. And she's like, thank you for the books, but like I already have one, so thank you. And he's like, where are you? And she's it's like, I'm far away from Seattle. So yeah. And he's just like, where are you? Where are you? And she's like, the best part of this conversation, she's like, no, Anna, can't be your friends. No, come here. No. Like, it's just so funny. But then she finally hangs up on him and she talks to the woman beside her. She's like, I told him, huh? Yeah, cool. But then he calls back like the fucking weirdo he is and says this. He says, stay where you are. I'm coming to get you. The fuck you say? No. 911? My stalker found me. Help. No. No. Mm-mm. She ends up going outside, and Jose, who we haven't spoken about, I like Jose. Jose needs to read the room, but other than that, Jose's a nice guy. But he comes out after her and he's like, I've been meaning to do this for a long time. She's like, what? I really like you. You do? Oh no. And he tries to kiss her. Again, not reading the room. It doesn't really get the fact that she does not want to kiss him. But then Christian comes to the rescue like the stalker he is, and he says, she told you no. And then she's like, Christian? And then she throws up. She promptly vomits. Vomits? Vomits. I think on his shoes. And yeah. So he's like, let's get you out of here. She's like, I'm with Kate. Like, what? And he's like, it's okay. Elliot's with her. Who the fuck is Elliot? Elliot's his brother. We love Elliot. He's great. And again, I do have to mention, because it's one of my favorite lines, Elliot is his brother, not by choice. So, but then she says, you're spinning. And what? I think I'm gonna faint. Right now? No, later. The fuck? But she finds out. He catches her. Great. The next morning, this man literally says, necrophilia is not my thing. Because she asks, like, did we? And he's like, no, necrophilia is not really my thing. My fucking God. Well, good to know that necrophilia is not your thing. But then he says, if you were mine, the way you were drinking that like that yesterday, you wouldn't be able to sit down for a week. And I said, do you promise? Anna, on the other hand, who I have not mentioned if you haven't seen this movie, is a virgin. So she's not quite understanding what he's putting down here. I am, though, and I accept the challenge. But she's like, why am I here? And he says this shit to her as if it came from the lips of Edward Cullen himself. I am incapable of leaving you alone. The fuck? Again, if a man said to me, I am incapable of leaving you alone, sir, I am incapable of not calling 911. Are we for real here? And you could tell he wants to kiss her, but he doesn't kiss her because reasons. But now, um, it looks like they're gonna have a date later on at his place in Seattle. But, she bites her lip. She has this thing, and same thing in the book. She has this thing of constantly biting her lip, and he's like, "I would love to bite that lip." "Oh, ex excuse me, what?" And she's like, "I would like that too, would you?" No one bites my lip. I have done that. Anyways, he says, "Well, I won't be doing that until I have written consent." What? Okay, okay, what? Because okay, if a man said to me, "I won't touch you until I have your written consent, not verbal, written consent," I'm like, "Oh, oh, uh, 911, I have an emergency. This man literally says he won't touch me without written consent. I think he's a rapist." Like, what the fuck? Written consent? Alarm bells are going off. Not for her, though. Um, but then when they're in the elevator, he just looks at her and he's like, "Fuck the contract." And he kisses her so violently. He puts her arms up because more on that later, but he just violently to the point that her hair is tousled and people come onto the elevator and they're just like, yeah. But then we go back to the house of which Kate and Anna live in, and we re-meet Nikki Elliott this time. Love him. But he says later's baby. That's kind of his thing. But it does become a thing, a cute little thing between Christian and Anna as well, where he says later's baby, mimicking his brother. So we find out that not only does this man have a lot of fucking money, a lot of time on his hands, and well, potentially other things, but we haven't gotten there yet. The man flies a helicopter. Isn't that just lovely? But we get back to his place called Escala, and she has to sign an NDA, a non-disclosure. Again, how romantic. Again, red flags. And she does because she's like, "I'm not telling anybody anything anyway, so I'll just sign this NDA." And then she says to him, "Well, are you going to make love to me now?" Two things. Two things he says. He says, first of all, I don't make love. I fuck hard. And I said, "You promise? You promise? Please. Thank you." Anyways, then she's like, "Well, what about the second thing?" So the second thing is, well, I can't really tell you. I'm actually going to show you. So he takes her upstairs and he shows her what he refers to as his playroom. No, y'all, not with the Xboxes. No, no, this is the Red Room of Pain, as is described in the book, The Red Room of Pain. And Jesus, Jesus. I am a woman who has been having sex for 20 years of my life. Even I would be like, "Nope." I'm literally the freaking videos nowadays where they do the stepping part of the Jordan Sparks song. Okay, that's me. I'm fucking getting the fuck out of there. That's me. Okay, that's me. No, I don't fucking think so. But nope, not this girl. So she's like, "So, like, what happens when people, like, or I wrote, this is what happens when people have too much money. So she's like, do people do this to you? You do it to them? He's like, no, I do it to them. Okay, now to talk quick. She's like, you're a sadist. Yeah. Do we want to go now? Do we want to leave? And he says, I'm a dom. I'm a dominant. Sadist. Call it what the fuck it is, my guy. Don't sugarcoat it with a word like dominant. Oh, what? Um, and she's like, why would I do this? And he's like, well, to please me. Oh, all about you, huh? Um, so yeah, he says it's also for her pleasure too, don't you worry. Um, and she would have her own room because you're gonna want it. And then the contract, he's like, we could negotiate, like, what have you liked during sex? And this is where he finds out, well, god damn it, she's a virgin. And he's like, I just showed you my playroom. And um okay. Like Elvis Presley, who apparently wanted to be with a 14-year-old girl because her virginity and her purity and all this shit. He's like, where have you been? Ew. 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 Anyway, he says that he is, and I quote, rectify the situation. And I said, sir, there is no rectifying the situation. Okay? You are the situation. And for anyone on the main feed, this is where I will be ending it for you guys. Again, if you want to hear more of this episode, you can head on over to patreon.com/reality tea times 2 and go to any tier of your choice in order to get this episode in its full. Otherwise, you can check back tomorrow for another episode of main feed. As for Patreon, you're not going to notice any differences here. We're just going to be transitioning into the second part of the episode very, very soon. The next episode that will be coming should be the second part for the Jinx. This is going to be added to the main feed as well. So if you are interested and you want to take part in the second part, which will be covering episodes 3 and 4, you can head on over to patreon.com /reality tea times 2. And that is at tier 3, which is $7 a month. Again, that's the same for Patreon. If you're listening to this on Patreon, that you can get access to that on the 3rd tier only. If you're listening to this on the 3rd tier, you will be getting the Jinx part 2. Otherwise, again, for main feed people, you'll be getting the next episodes tomorrow. Other than that, that is it for me, and that is it for this episode. Bye, everybody.